Ladies and gentlemen, your hosts, Lorelei and Space Deviant.
The Beetlejuice sequel is truly a Halloween nightmare.
It completely disrespects the core narrative themes of the original movie.
1988's Beetlejuice might have been named after Michael Keaton's crafty,
freelance bioexorcist.
but the heroes of our story are undoubtedly Adam and Barbara Maitland.
The entire movie opens up Adam's rescuing a spider.
They are a couple deeply in love whose shared capacity to give love is so profound that even death could not stop them from finding a way to raise a child together. In what might be a throwaway line at the beginning of the movie, Jane, the simpering real estate agent,
Who thoughtlessly references the couple's lack of children.
Exactly what we're looking for.
This house is too big for you. It really ought to be for a couple with a family, you know?
my personal viewpoint is that Barbara had a recent miscarriage. Right before the bridge accident in the first movie, I think my theory is confirmed when Adam says to Barbara,
Jane says we should sell the house to someone with a family.
Well, I don't think that it's any of Jane's business. Besides, we could try again on this vacation, you know?
to me, that one sentence is the key to the entire story.
It does seem that, more than anything, Barbara and Adam wanted to be parents.
Through this, we can understand why, prior to the exorcism, they were already going to stop haunting the Dietzes. Barbara says it plainly.
Adam, I want to be with Lydia.
Barbara wants to be a mother to Lydia.
A nuance I first missed, they make Lydia's biological mother alive.
Somehow Richard's death is still my fault.
You blame me for your mother's.
She's not dead. And I didn't blame you. I resented you. There's a difference.
I utterly refuse to let that shameless cash grab of a movie change my personal headcanon.
Really, there's no good reason why Lydia would have been so obsessed with death in the 1980 original.
Save for a dead mother. That's also why when Beetlejuice is pressuring her to say his name for the third time, she says she needs to talk to Barbara first.
I want to talk to Barbara.
No, you don't need to talk to Barbara. Just say it.
That's the closest thing that she has at that point to a mother. And on the other side of the coin, after meeting Beetlejuice, Barbara's first thought is,
Besides, I'm not exposing that little girl to that pervert down there.
Could sum up the 1980s Beetlejuice with a story of two foster soul parents protecting their daughter from the world's worst ghost stalker.
in the finale, protective dad Adam is proto-Fast and Furious, leaping his mini flatbed truck off the table and exploding into Beetlejuice's shoe. And then Mama Bear Barbara goes full OP white woman and manages to tame the sandworm long enough to ride it through the house's interdimensional barrier, swallowing our striped-suited villain whole. And it ends with there being a literal chasm between Charles and Delia and Lydia.
The subtext is clear. Adam and Barbara are her parents now.
And at the very end, it's Adam who's helping Lydia with her homework and rewarding her for good grades with magical musical numbers.
It was gross. They wanted me to dissect a frog. I told them no way. I said it was against my religion.
Barbara gently chiding Adam for being too strict. Lydia's biological father, the cowardly Charles, and stepmother, the narcissistic Delia, are happily free of the burdens of raising a child.
Charles is vaguely aware of his daughter getting an A on the math test, but Lydia didn't run up to his office to tell him about it.
Why would she? She's already downstairs with her real parents, the people that actually love her. But the sequel was fiercely anti-family.
They erase Barbara and Adam entirely.
Even if Barbara had to be bound to that house for an additional 125 years, she would have never abandoned her post as Lydia's adopted mother.
Maybe Mom can get the ghost in the attic to give us a hand. Adam and Barbara Maitland. They're not here anymore.
Why, they find a better house to haunt?
No, we found a loophole and they moved on.
Found a loophole and they moved on.
Lies. Character assassination.
This was a situation where you could have used body doubles and CGI and had young Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis walking around like they did in Luke Skywalker season 2 of Mandalorian.
100%. And them being ghosts would forgive any of the sins of the computerized uncanny valley rubber face. But to instead have them abandon a young, unstable Lydia to
These people.
And instead the movie elevates Charles to saintly grandfather.
Though there is no expiry date on sorrow.
And it's not as if the actor who plays Charles is dead. The movie decides to exalt the Charles character to make a pouty protest.
Boys choir singing the banana song.
Very tasteful.
They can't help themselves, can they?
No, they really can't. And let's not forget that they decide to switch up afterlife bureaucracy labor from those who decided to self-delete to people who randomly died in accidents.
Bastard's dad.
Eaten by piranhas.
William Dafoe.
Who knew it was a live grenade?
Grenade mishap.
His assistant.
Javelin incident.
I mean, why should people be eternally punished with customer service for being in an accident?
Exactly. It's obvious they're trying to erase any and all idea of there being some kind of final judgment for immoral behavior in life.
And I'll tell you something. If I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have had my little accident.
In the 1988 movie, Miss Argentina was in purgatory.
And she knew it.
In Beetlejuice.
Well, I attended Juilliard. I'm a graduate of the Harvard Business School. I travel quite extensively. I lived through the Black Plague, and I had a pretty good time during that.
Beetlejuice is not a 600-year-old Italian. Beetlejuice is an American.
Juilliard was founded in 1905. Harvard Business School, 1908. Black Plague, last outbreak, Los Angeles, 1924. And Exorcist was in 1970 something.
But he reasonably could have already been dead when he was seeing The Exorcist. He could not have attended Juilliard while dead. He could not have graduated Harvard Business School while dead. And he could not have lived through the plague if he were already dead. And he wasn't married.
I'm telling you, honey, she meant nothing to me. Nothing at all.
Remember the line?
That if I ever did it, I was going to do it once, and that was it.
Why is this person even in the movie?
The only somewhat consistent character from the original to sequel was Delia.
She was just as self-involved in the second movie as she was in the first movie.
Astrid! Stop torturing your mother. I know I usually find it funny and only fair after the way she treated me when she was your age, but not today.
See, the only problem was, so was everybody else. Lydia turned out to be both a terrible mother.
What are you doing? I was gonna go say hey to his parents. Seriously? This isn't a play date. We're not 6 years old. Nothing's gonna happen. All right, okay, you're right. Have fun
and a weak person. Letting some nozzle she met at the pecan factory exploit her.
And a little bird may have chirped our big news to a few news outlets. Thought we could sell the photos exclusively. Could be great press for the show.
Begging for feel-good chiclets that he fishes out of a trash can?
But this is the last time that I ever dig pills out of a trash can for you. Do you understand?
Teenage Lydia had dignity.
It would have been one thing to give her a dead husband. I could have gotten behind that storyline.
But a dead ex-husband.
Professional protester.
Eaten by piranhas.
Lydia is a failure. How about you write it in neon, why don't you?
The writers could not have possibly hated her more.
No. And the anti-maternal body horror, not once, but twice. First with Lydia, and then at the very end with Astrid, mocking the very concept of motherhood itself with those macabre dolls.
The goal of the sequel seemed to be burn and bury any remnants of the true story of Beetlejuice.
That of Adam and Barbara. Two people so very in love with each other and the home they shared together that neither death nor demons could stop them from raising a daughter together. Oh. So the rewatch. The first time through, I think I was just disappointed when we watched it together, and I zoned out a lot.
Right.
But then, when you go through it again to write the essay, I found myself getting more and more furious. I mean, mind you, it was hard to keep paying attention. No, this is your job. Like, you have to sit here and watch this, like, chuckle garbage.
You start to see deeper and deeper into the sub context of what they're trying to feed you.
It's the anti-family. And then once I saw it, and once I saw how much they erased Barbara, and I rewatched the original, and not only how good it was, but then as an adult and as a woman, like I would have beat Jane's ass trying to sell my house out from under me for a commission and bringing up my miscarriage. That's obviously not the South. Because I promise you, Barbara would have told her first cousin, and her first cousin would have showed up at Jane's house. Like, you don't do that. You don't do that. Like, wow. The audacity. Anyway.
The fact that they deleted her, it made her mom alive again. Like, wait.
Lydia's mom.
Lydia's mom.
Yeah.
Sorry, jump. Yeah.
Yeah, no. But
We're going to.
Let's address that. That's what, okay. Lydia, the only reason she was the epic gothy princess who was always in her sad girl dark room, was because her mom was dead. And they never referenced her mom entirely in the first movie. Why else would they avoid it? At some point, there would have been a normal discussion like, well, if you don't like it here, go to your mom's in the city.
As soon as we get settled, we'll build you a dark room in the basement, okay?
My whole life is a dark room. One big dark room.
So you were miserable in New York City, and now you're going to be miserable out here in the sticks. At least someone's life hasn't been upheaved.
Go to your mom's in Connecticut, or wherever her mom was. There would have been an option for her. If her mother had been alive in the first movie, if she was so miserable with her dad and stepmom, she could have gone somewhere else. But it was never brought up because it wasn't an option, because Lydia's mother is dead.
They just made it where she was, like, divorced.
Yeah.
It was like, what?
Again, it's all anti-family. Because and they were trying to deify Charles. Because Charles is a piece of shit for marrying somebody who obviously didn't give a damn about his daughter. So he's a bad dad. He's a bad dad even in the end when he's sitting in his recliner like, oh, she must have got an A on the math. Is he running downstairs to congratulate her, to see her little, she's literally doing a magical musical performance. But he's so into bird watching. He's so into whatever magazine he's reading.
That's nice, dear. Just blows her off.
He can't be bothered to go see his daughter's floating musical performance that's 10 steps down the hallway. He could walk out of his office, walk 10 steps, and peer down the railway. But does he do that? No, because he's not a good dad. That's sorry, go on, because I'm so mad about it. And you didn't even catch it.
I missed. Well, the way they worded it, she said it like almost like she was dead, and then they were like, "Oh, but she's not."
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, what?
It's like because it's like they knew all of us.
Yeah.
All of us.
We all perceived it as that way, as it was originally intended, and then it was just kind of like, "No, we're just gonna wrap that back and pull it back."
Dead mother
like
is
it
the
didn't
classic Disney princess move. It makes Lydia like Tim Burton's princess because her mom's dead.
I have to believe that Tim Burton didn't do most of the writing, or he must have just had like, little bits of influence, and somebody else wrote a lot of this stuff because
you never know what goes on behind closed doors for X dollar amounts. But if he did this, he's fallen off.
Another one that did bother me was, the fact that they made it where it's like all of a sudden, well, the shrink head guys, I don't get it. It's not funny. It's not, and I don't get it. Like, it was just a little bit part they had at the end of the first movie, and it was funny, and that was it.
Whoa, hey, what are you doing? Hey, stop it! Hey, you're messing up here! Come on! Whoa! Whoa! Stop it! Whoa! Hey, this might be a good look for me.
It was a throwaway junk thing when he was waiting. Yeah,
remember?
But
Just
Beetlejuice
outplay
worked
it.
alone. Remember, Juno said he couldn't work well with others.
He does not work well with others.
Why would he have an office of 50 shrunken heads working for him if he doesn't work well with others? He was like living in his trailer, basically in the graveyard, the little mini model graveyard.
Yeah, they made the rules pretty clear.
You know what they say about people who commit? In the afterlife, they become civil servants.
In the first one, about the people who work there,
You
and why they
self-delete.
work there, and then it's like, oh, we're just gonna roll all that back. Just go back on all that. But that's probably because they don't even want to bring it up nowadays.
They don't want to bring it
because
up.
they're just trying to avoid that whole concept.
But, because you can't have a morality tale.
Back in the
Heaven
80s,
forbid.
you used to be able to actually have, be realistic and, have conversations and maybe even make, jokes about it like they did. It's like, you can't do that.
Well,
nowadays.
you could do both. You could make, again, because we were still Christian enough as a nation back then, and particularly like Catholic enough that people even that aren't Catholic knew the Catholic thing of like, you don't do that. That's against the rules. That's a naughty. So what is the worst job you could have? Customer service. Public service, being a public servant. So what is joke purgatory?
All the actual
bureaucratic afterlife?
deep jokes became just like slapstick, like throwaway and member berries, and none of it
didn't make sense.
None of it was good. None of it made sense. None of it worked.
No.
And they just keep doing it over and over again. Like, let's do it enough times and it'll be funny. Like, no.
Monica Bellucci's character made no sense. You could have cut out every scene with her in it. Not that I don't like Monica Bellucci as like, from Matrix 2 as the Frenchman's wife or whatever, but she didn't need to be here.
And the way
It
they
made no
had her made up
sense.
is she was like, what's the other Tim Burton one where the Princess Bride?
Oh, no.
Or the, not Princess Bride.
I know which one you're talking about too, with Jack Skellington.
Yes.
And
yeah, she was made up to be almost exactly like her. But it's like, these two characters are not at all alike.
Same.
So
no, but they're trying to do a member berry
berries
to girls my
but
age.
their
who
characters are
watch that.
totally not at all even remotely the same.
And she was useless. Everyone she questioned, she killed before they gave her any information or answer. It just didn't. You could cut out every single scene she's in, and you'd still have a bad movie, but it wouldn't take away anything from the plot line. Oh, and we found a way to shove an incel in there. Oh, we got to get all of our
Make
woke points.
him the bad guy. The key evil bad guy.
Who wasn't even nuanced. You could have made him. You could have still made him a bad guy. Okay, I will still even give you your little ghost weasel. If you had done something where let's say he'd fallen in love, like it hadn't been manipulation. He'd really fallen in love with Lydia, but she wouldn't stay with him, or he got weirdly obsessive, but it was somehow genuine.
Or not Lydia, but you mean,
yeah. Astrid.
Yeah, Astrid.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I did. So good. New Lydia. Lydia's daughter.
New Lydia.
But,
Lydia 2.0.
Yeah, Lydia 2.0, little Astridy. So let's say he'd really loved her. And then another ghost had convinced him, because maybe she'd rejected him, or he thought she'd rejected him, or Beetlejuice tricked him maybe. How about we make Beetlejuice a bad guy again? Beetlejuice tricks him into thinking Astrid promised him he was going to be there, or tricks Astrid, or does some sinister stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then the boy does something bad and goes to swap souls with her. You know? And then we can have that. And maybe he regrets it and like does something sacrificial or is willing to die at the end to give her soul back because he feels bad or he's been tricked or because as it stands, Beetlejuice is kind of the good guy that gets screwed out of a deal that Lydia made with him to marry him.
She don't have to marry you.
What?
You violated Code 699. Yeah, you illegally brought my mom into the afterlife. According to that book, that contract is null and void.
Don't make me feel bad for Beetlejuice. Do you know how bad the writing has to be to make me feel bad for a demon? Like, no, you actually get a deal.
It was clear he was the bad guy.
We didn't feel bad.
And nobody liked him, even in the land of the dead. They're like, he doesn't work well with others.
I want Beetlejuice out of the picture.
He literally like got warrants. He's got afterlife version of like, do not serve him at the Wendy's. Like, he was a scumbag. And we knew it. So when Barbara rode the worm in and ate him, we were like, yeah, Barbara. You know, we didn't feel bad that he got screwed. Even when he got the little... We wanted that little shrunk head moment, even though we know he's eventually get it back.
That was just a little, jest. It's like when he gets eaten by sandworms. He comes back, He comes back. But then, like, where all these shrunk head guys come from? Why are they here? What is this? It's not funny.
If you wrote me a storyline where he convinced the tropical witch doctor to create him a bunch of slaves to do his bidding because Beetlejuice is inherently evil and a capitalist, okay. Not a great storyline.
Better than...
But you would have at least explained it. These are Beetlejuice's slaves that he traded the witch doctor X, Y, and Z for.
Doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And you didn't care
I never
enough.
understood, like, why. It's just like, because they
don't care.
Not just pandering. They want to believe that all their viewers are like nitwits. They want everybody, they're all just, hey, you'll just laugh. You'll just laugh and it'll be funny and just be little shrunkhead guys. It's like, it's not.
It's the assumption, and I really do believe
there
that
probably is some people, but I mean,
I believe there's an assumption that the story isn't important and no one cares that much. And I want to fight you over that. This is my childhood. I remember where the VHS tape was, like on the shelf as a kid.
Like in the 80s, the humor was actually like jokes and jests on society. And they were like, it was a poignant view. And it was like,
our parents watched it with us, and there were jokes just for them.
As the guy who got run over by a car, and then he like goes through the wall.
Yes.
They had him go sideways after he makes a joke about it.
Yes. And we know that he threw himself in front of a car. Why else would he be there? We can assume that.
How do I look? There are no mirrors on this side.
Fine, look fine.
Yeah?
Fine.
Thanks. I've been feeling a little flat.
You know? There was all sorts of these assumptions we could make, and
we're not allowed to have jokes like that anymore. Sorry, guys.
Well, even a lot of Beetlejuice being gross. It was for the adults. And a lot of it was so quick. It was Michael Keaton just being so off the cuff quick.
Oh yeah.
You think my 8-year-old self, my 10-year-old self caught
half the humor.
But our parents could sit there and tolerate it and watch it with us.
Yeah.
Because it was a family movie. There was layers for everybody.
10, 15 years down the road, it's still a great movie. 20 years down the road, it's still a great movie. The first Beetlejuice.
Watching the first one, because we watched the second one first, and then I rewatched the first one, and that infuriated me rewatching the second one because of the difference in quality, care, the just disregard for the storyline, how rich the story was, how many different stories you could have pulled from the original. Even if you wanted to make the Astrid Lydia, I'd have been fine with Lydia having a dead husband. Like I said, that storyline even makes sense. Or even the idea of a dead husband whose ghost she couldn't see. Although I would prefer it to be more like a Casper thing. Like, what's his name's wife? Remember Bill Pullman's wife in Casper? He could never find her as a ghost because she didn't have any unfinished business.
James, I know you've been searching for me. But there's something you have to understand. You and Kat loved me so well when I was alive that I have no unfinished business.
Shit. Still such a good movie that the concept of it can make me tear up. Can you think of one movie in the past 10 years that you can think of a concept in it and tear up? because they don't care.
Not American ones.
No. Yeah,
You got the
exactly.
Japanese,
The Japanese one. Yep.
Zero.
Mm-hmm.
Godzilla Zero was really good.
Was it Godzilla 0 or Godzilla 1? Or is it 0?
One of those.
I
One of
don't
those
know.
numbers.
Japanese
The
one.
Japanese
Yes.
Godzilla.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that? Yeah. I don't even want to sit here and think about it, because if I even think about it, I will start crying over different scenes. I can't even bring up any scene in it, because if I start bringing up scenes, I'll just tear up. But there was, as much as there was slapstick and silly and puppets, it was all sewn together with this beautiful story. And Gina Davis, Alec Baldwin, Michael Keaton.
Oh, yeah. They had a bunch of big names.
Great.
Great actors.
Well, she was the only one, Delia, was the only consistent one from the old movie to the new. She was the only character I had no problem with how they wrote her, because to me that was consistent.
Is anyone here who has the power to help me?
Did that line used to work for you?
I'm not dead!
Like, you could have, that same crazed art bitch, like selfish, self-involved. You could even kill her with the snakes the same way. I mean, that was a little bit stupid, but out of all the things I had a problem with, I had the least amount of problem with that. At least they seemed to get her. I bet dollars to donuts she probably had something to do with that, like a certain level of like, no, my character wouldn't do that. I wouldn't doubt it. As far as saying certain things and not saying certain things, I don't know.
Yeah, I could see her like forcing them to make her character better.
She had 7 seasons of Schitt's Creek. She can do or not do what she
They try
wants.
to pull some other crap, like, no, that's terrible writing. Yeah, there's just
Hello, dear.
John, what have you... Oh, John, you smell like my mother.
a few other points where the actors are... And you know what? You wonder with a lot of these movies and shows, how much of that doesn't go on that should, where the actors, rebel.
Well, it doesn't really happen anymore.
Not going to do that to my character.
One of my favorite things about the old school sitcoms and old school shows is you'd have the character, the actor playing the character, and then he'd have at least 1 to 3 writers writing his stuff.
Yep.
And they were a gang. You know what I mean? Like, there would literally be fights with the producer and with the head writer over where that storyline was going to go. And it wasn't just this season, it was 3 seasons out.
Yep. Yeah, there was a point, like, you go back to Star Trek, where Spock, he basically wrote his whole character, and all the mannerisms, all the little Spock things.
Yes.
That was the actor.
Oh, Leonard Nimoy. And let's talk about Astrid's dad. The hippie professional protester who managed to get his dumbass eaten by piranhas.
Just a weak character.
Why couldn't he have been some doctor? Make him a doctor without borders. Make it even where, if you wanted to make it real silly, where he traveled around the most dangerous places and then gets killed in a car accident 2 blocks from the house getting milk. Something devastatingly sad.
Got himself killed.
Yeah. But why can't we give Lydia a husband? Why couldn't we have made her so deeply in love? And then part of it where maybe that's... Let's not even go on to the douchebag yet. I can't broach the douchebag yet. But let's just say that her not having been divorced, but having been widowed, left her vulnerable to the exploitations of some douchebag.
I learned it at the survivors retreat where I met Rory.
Of course you did.
Look, I was in shock after Richard died, and I was working on my unresolved feelings, and Rory had just lost his fiancée in a skiing accident. We were in the same sorrow circle, and we connected.
Yeah. He was turned on by you at the lowest point in your life.
Cool. Like, you could have written me that super sad Lydia character. I would have believed that. Especially because Lydia's mother had died on her when she was young, and you'll never rewrite my headcanon on that. But instead, it's just... Whoever wrote Lydia, I feel like her boyfriend left her in high school for someone that looked like Winona Ryder, and she's getting even. Like, they hated Lydia. Legitimately, she was neurotic. Taking pharmaceuticals. Her daughter didn't respect her. Her fiance was exploiting her.
Well, the movie's to come a week from today, all right? I think that'll give us all time to get over our grief and our trauma, and then after the wedding, I think we should go back and we gotta finish those shows.
And financially and emotionally manipulating her. She had an ex-husband. It's like, could she have failed any harder in life? Oh, and she was doing a job she hated that she considered selling out that physically made her ill. Like, she had to eat pills to get through it, but hated doing it.
But we've done all right, haven't we?
Yeah. Ever since I sold out and got famous, we have gotten closer.
It's not like she did it because she loved the feeling that it brought to people, or that it gave her that feeling of peace to bring real... No, she was just doing it for the money to sell out, make Delia happy. What kind of character are you writing?
Oh, I just got rich and to be like my mother.
Stepmother.
I've never... they hate the characters. They hate the characters. Yeah. And they hated Barbara and Adam so much, they just got rid of them.
Yep, delete.
They just yeeted them from the whole story.
Found a hole. They're gone.
Now, I had someone tell me the other day, and I do think this is a pretty good theory, that the Rust incident is why Alec Baldwin might have been...
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's why they did. That whole thing had gone on, but
it's still not a good enough reason.
That's not. That's kind of like with the other Disney stuff where they had they pulled his character, or him playing that character, and they killed that whole franchise.
Oh, Johnny Depp.
Yeah, because of Johnny Depp. And that, it's like, okay, just because that little, something happens, you
put it
destroy
on
their career.
If you want to put it on a shelf, I mean, if you wanted to put Beetlejuice on a shelf for 4 years, cool. But to get rid of the main characters, and if anything, the publicity might have done them good.
Yeah.
Because it really didn't get a lot of fanfare. It didn't do much. You could have kept his character, especially if you'd kept the character Adam. If you just made him Grandpa Adam, and you have, again, the body double doing all the other stuff, so he's not even really... He does all of his lines in 4 days in a sound studio. He's never even on set.
I just think the writers don't want to actually write. They want to have slapstick and a bunch of member berries. It's like they almost generated it. It's generated, and they say, write me a story about this.
I want this point, this point, this point, and this point.
And that's all they did. And then they had it generated, and then they made a few tweaks, and then that was it.
It's either seems like there's whole storylines that doesn't make sense.
Yep.
None of the dialogue has any gravitas. It all sounds the same. It's all coming from the same character, except for Delia's character, because I swear
she probably did,
she couldn't save this, and neither could Michael Keaton.
No.
And again, he needs certain stuff written for him. He needs to have a framework he's working in. He can be as good as he wants with his ad lib. You still need to give him a frame.
Yeah. But the whole ex-girlfriend
stuff. Oh, why? Why? And Beetlejuice is American. Okay, I will die on that hill 110%. Here's Beetlejuice's story. I figured it out, because everybody dies. Remember, they keep the outfit they died in. His outfit is between 1920 and 1929 carnival barker.
Mm-hmm.
So my theory is he was a rich boy before the crash. So he was one of those bi-coastal elites. So he got Harvard Business School, Juilliard on the East Coast, and then traveled out west. And I think family bought some warehouses, because that's where the Black Plague thing happened in Los Angeles, was in the lower class districts. I believe it was 1924. So Beetlejuice, probably at one of his family warehouses, there was an outbreak of the Black Plague, and he lost it all. everything went, tits up in the Great Crash, and then he ended up as a carnival barker and obviously decided to self-delete because in the original movie, he was working in public service.
Yeah. Or they were trying, but he couldn't work well with anybody, so they wouldn't have him.
He couldn't go anywhere else, and they just couldn't type him, but he was still a public servant.
So he was running ads like, well, come on down.
And, well, I better find a job. Let's see, business section.
He was basically doing semi-volunteer haunting work.
Right.
Because he's contractually whatever because of what he did. So he was
a shyster, so of course he's running it as a shyster and forcing them into agreements so he can, I'll do work for you.
Well,
if you just,
he was the capitalist rich boy, Harvard business or Harvard, business
and with
school.
his accent and stuff, so it kind of works together way more than.
My theory works. He's American.
I just don't.
East Coast.
His character, personality, that's all American.
1929.
Like.
Yep. Died after the crash. Did a carnival barker for a while. Couldn't handle being poor. Self-deleted, wearing the carnival barker outfit, but still had all that East Coast capitalist hustler in him. No. 600-year-old Italian. What's wrong with you?
Like, where do you get the accent? Where do you get the humor, the this and that? Like, they don't even make sense.
Where do you get the outfit?
America, built to last.
That's right.
No, that's right. They'll be flying that flag all night.
Red, white, and blue.
Thank you for joining us here today. We really do appreciate your time. I'm Lorelei, and this is
Space Deviant.
And together we are Southern Fried Cinema Siblings. And remember, the most important story is the story you tell yourself, so.
Make it a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. You're still here, are you? Well, why don't you make yourself useful? Click the share button. Click the subscribe button. May as well go ahead and click for the next episode, too.